In this video, we're going to learn some more tips and tricks related to for loops. So I have this for loop set up. The starting value is 1, the stopping value is 6. Within the loop, I'm printing the value of x. So if I run this code, we can see that this loop ran 5 times. And each time the loop ran, the value of x was printed, which was 1. Then it became 2. Then it became 3, 4, 5, right? So the built-in counter running in the background kept changing the value of x. Each time the loop ran, it incremented the value of x by 1, right? So that's the default behavior of the built-in counter. So we can basically make the built-in counter running in the background take different steps, right? So previously, or by default, it is taking steps of 1, incrementing the value of x by 1. But what if we ask the built-in counter to change the value of x by 2 or by 3 or by 4? We can do that by using this range function that we have. Within this range function, we've provided 2 values, right? We've provided the starting value, we've provided the stopping value, and we can add a third value, which will basically tell the built-in counter that this time you are going to take steps of 2. You're going to increment the value of x by 2. So if I run this code, you can see that the starting value of x was 1, which is what got printed, right? We're printing the values of x. Next time the loop ran, x became 3. Next time the loop ran, x became 5. So basically, the built-in counter did not go by its default behavior this time. Rather, it incremented the value of x by 2, which was the value that we specified, right? So if I change this value to 3 and run this code again, you can see that the first value of x that was printed was 1. When the loop ran again, the value that got printed was 4. So basically the value of x this time was incremented by 3, right, which was the step that we gave. Can we give a negative step here? Can we ask the built-in counter to change the value of x by -3 instead of changing it by +3, right? So each time the loop runs, we're basically asking the built-in counter to decrement, to subtract -3 from the current value of x, right? So if I run this code, you can see that the loop didn't even run one time, and the reason for that is that the way this range function has been set up. So what basically we're telling the range function is that the starting value is 1, the stopping value of x is 6. So the trend is basically to go from 1 towards 6. But what are we saying here? We're asking the built-in counter to take steps of -3, which basically means what? We are never going to get to 6. If we start from 1, we are never going to go towards 6 because we are taking steps of -3. Right? So from 1, if we decrement the value by -3, we're going to -2, and then we're going to go to -5, right? So we're going in the other direction. That's why this loop doesn't run even once. But what if I was to change these starting and stopping values? What if I was to write 6 here, and the stopping value I can change to 1? So this time the starting value is 6, the stopping value is 1, and let's give a step of -1 here, right? So, but you can see that this step is in line with the direction that we're giving here, right? So we're starting from 6 and we're going towards 1. So we can take negative steps, and those negative steps can take us from the starting value of 6 to the stopping value of 1. So if I run this code, you'll see that the loop ran 5 times. So the first time the loop ran, the value of x was 6. Next time it became 5, 4, 3, 2. So each time the loop ran, the built-in counter basically took steps of -1. It changed the value of x by -1, right? Let me change it. Let me change this step to -2. And if I run this code, we can see that this loop ran 3 times. The first time the loop ran, x had a value of 6. Next time the loop ran, x had a value of 4. Next time the loop ran, x had a value of 2. Okay, a quick concept here. So this was the starting value and this was the stopping value, right? So the first time the loop ran, 6 was printed, right? So the first time the loop ran, 6 was printed, right? Then the built-in counter in the background changed the value by -2. Next time the loop ran, x had a value of 4. And next time the loop ran, x had a value of 2. So when x had a value of 2, right, when the loop ran the third time, x had a value of 2, right? And then the built-in counter kicked into action. It changed the value of x by -2. Remember, this is the step. So 2 minus 2 gives us what? 0. So the value stored inside variable x now became what? 0, right? If you don't understand what I'm discussing here right now, you've probably missed the last video I made on for loop. So you need to go and check that out. But so the value of x now becomes 0. The CPU goes back up to check where the x is still in the given range. Now the stopping value was 1. This was the stopping value, right? But we have even crossed that stopping value. We've reached 0. So either we reach that stopping value or we even go beyond that stopping value. So we went beyond that stopping value, and that's when the loop stopped. So the loop is going to run for 6, 4 and 2. These values of x are fine. These are within range. I'm writing x, okay? This is not a cross, right? So when x took these values, the loop ran, right? And finally the value of x became 0, right? So in case you were thinking that the stopping value was 1, but now the value is 0, even this is good enough, right? Because we were supposed to stop when we reached 1. We've even exceeded that because of the step that we're taking. We're taking steps of 2, right? So the loop is going to stop here, and this loop is only going to run 3 times. Okay, I'm going to run this loop one final time just to show you, a different value. For example, with different values, we're going to start with 30, we're going to stop at 0, and we're going to take steps of -5, right? So if I run this code, you can see that the loop started, x had a value of 30, then 25, 20, 15, all the way till 5, and finally after 5 was printed, right, the loop was running when x had a value of 5, and then the built-in counter must have changed that value to 0 by taking this step of -5. Okay, I hope this concept is clear, and you can try this on your own and see if it works smoothly for you.